Hello traders, this is Day Trader Matt with businesswithtrading.com doing an E-mini trading room recap for Tuesday the 25th of February, and today was another good day in the markets. We pretty much opened up in line from yesterday. Market did sell down a little bit and then eventually bought up and moved down to sideways to close the 12 o'clock session. Today we had 4 trades and we were 3 for 1. Ended up pulling 4.25 points out of the markets. Basically what we did on the day, our first trade was unsuccessful. We took a long up here actually, which in hindsight is very, very horrible, but it is what it is. Anyway, we did take a nice stop out on that. I guess it would be not nice, but it was a pretty good sized stop. So took a nice stop on that, and over here we took our first long. We grabbed a long here, took profit up here. So, or actually over here we took profit once it started rolling back over, and so we got out of that one. Our next trade we took a long over here. Took a long over here, which we ended up taking profit on up here once it started rolling over here, and then kind of just watched things as they chopped around and got long over here, and we were able to ride that up and taking some nice profit getting out up here. So definitely very, very nice, and it turned that unsuccessful trade into profit. And that's one thing I really wanted to talk about today. When your first trade is unsuccessful, what do you do? A lot of new traders and, people that I've coached that are new to trading. And when I say new, it could be a couple years of trading. It could be 6 months of trading. Most people that come to me have been trading for a little bit of time. But trading is something that's kind of counterintuitive in some respects. In other respects, it is just like any other business. And when I do say counterintuitive, I mean from a psychological standpoint. From a business standpoint, trading is exactly like any other business. But from a psychological standpoint, it is a lot different. You really do have to, train and work towards becoming a better trader. It's not like being able to put a tire on a rim, where that is usually pretty easy. Most people can grasp that concept very quickly. Trading is something that does take a while to grasp. It's not you take a course and then the next day you're profitable and you're going to be a millionaire in a couple months from there. That's totally improbable, highly, highly, highly unlikely. And I would bet money that no one has ever done that in the history of the world, or will do that in the future. Just because being able to do that is very improbable. Trading is something that does take a while to master, and it really does depend on the individual. But coming back to that original question, what do you do when your first trade of the day is unsuccessful? And that question I think is very, very important. As a trader, what type of trader are you? And a lot of times those emotions do come into play when a trade is, like, let's say for example you got long up here. Well, the trade came down, it went in your favor, and then it came back down, and now you're negative. You don't know that the market's going to pop up here, but you're negative. You're going to have emotions that come in, especially getting in a trade up here and then coming down, and you looking at the chart and you're like, oh man, that was a stupid area to get long at. But you're actually making your reasoning with information that you did not have at the time that you made the trade. So really, there's really no point to do that. Unless you're not trading at all, the day's over and you're analyzing. You can do it then. But while the trade is happening, while you're still trading, while your DOM is still up, there's no reason to do that. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today a little bit. Being able to take your first loss of the day, but then come back and make your day profitable. Does that happen every time? Of course not. Of course not. I go home sometimes negative. It's part of the business. You're not going to make money every single day, but you want to make money the majority of the time. And that's, really what this website is to show you. I don't make money every single day. I've been trading for a very long time, and I still have issues. I still make trades that I look at and I'm like, oh man, what did I make that trade? But I made it, and it is what it is. I can't go back in time and change that, unless I meet Doc Brown and find the DeLorean and go back in time and maybe I can fix it. But, the reality of that happening is, not, it's actually negative probability. But, I think it's an interesting question, interesting topic, and I definitely wanted to talk about it. So hopefully you got something out of what I was talking about. You can always leave comments below the video. Have an awesome day, my friend, and I will see you back in the markets tomorrow. Thank you.